Hello, welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage, on a previously sunny, somewhat warm, mid-30s, almost 38 degrees, I guess. Doing some melting after the never-ending storm yesterday. I had a few issues plowing, slid down the hills backwards, each of them twice, each time I tried to plow. And eventually I gave up, went in the house for the night. I knew today was another day and I would have to chain up. So, beginning of this video, that's what we're doing. And then we're gonna try to make this bracket. And spoiler alert, we're gonna fail. And I'm probably right now gonna try to shut my phone off and it won't let me. So that's all covered, coming up. The aftermath of yesterday's snowstorm. I had to give up plowing the hills last night on my third attempt, because it was just a sheet of glass underneath. I should have photographed my car before I cleaned it off. I need to clean up everything I pushed off it. We got some snowbanks now. It's higher than my shed. I slid down backwards with the tractor on every hill, but managed to get it knocked out enough that we could use the driveway. Here on the hood of my Suburban, let's take a measurement. Looks like 12 inches. So this morning, I'm chaining up the tractor. I got one side done. I keep the tire chains inside under the bench. And I straighten it all out on the floor because you have to, or it's just a serious wrestling match. The cross links need to face up like this. The inner is just a hook, so you need to get it thrown up over the tire. Get the inner one hooked, and I know it has to be on the tightest position. And then you yank it back over here, and you got a latch. And then I go ahead and wire tie the latch and the extra chain. And it rides there all winter. And the chain will sort itself out as far as being positioned around the tire. But it is not much fun, especially when the first thing I did is stick my head under there and cover my hood in grease. Oh well. Now to do the other side. Just as soon as the sun comes out, the snow starts coming out of the trees. Now let me go scrape my hills because I'm invincible now. Dun dun dun. Take advantage of the sun. Man, I wish I had those on last night, but I do this every year. I hate having them on there, but when you need them, you need them. So, big hunk of snow just fell out. It's pretty. All right, get to work. I lost one of my snow foil flaps last night. It's made of rubber. I'm sure it's around here somewhere, but the snow was up over the blade most of the night when I had traction. What a difference a couple hours of sun and scraping makes. Hopefully the sun stays out the rest of the afternoon and bears up my driveway, because tomorrow we're supposed to get another foot of snow, I just heard. Unreal. But the wind's kicking up, knocking some of the snow out of the trees. I just got to clean off a couple more vehicles and call it good today. Mother Nature is fighting the entire way. I got snow on the roof. I got a rag stuffed up there to stop the water because it's dropping straight down where the fuel cap is. This funnel has a built-in filter, and I put 3 paint strainers inside it. There's also a strainer in the fill, and then of course it goes to a filter. I don't want any debris in my fuel. It's winter blend. I put some lubrication additive, which is also an anti-gel. And this tractor at half tank takes 5 gallons, which I got race jugs I'm not using at the moment, so they carry diesel fuel. I did manage to find my snow foil flap. The tractor, for those that were curious, is a 2012 Mahindra 6010. It's a 60 horsepower. The difference between a 5010 and a 6010 is a tiny Garrett turbocharger, which I have but I don't need. It's completely useless. I've never turned the engine over 1800 RPMs and it just sits there at idle. It's a hydrostatic transmission. It's the biggest tractor I could find with a hydrostatic transmission, which is what I wanted. So I knew the majority of its life is going to plow snow. It has a 10-foot backhoe that I added to the rear of it. And when I got all the pieces to put it together, I contacted tech support at the company that makes the backhoe. It'll come to me in a minute what the name is. And they said, hey, if you get that to fit, send us pictures. The funny part is also it's not a Mahindra tractor at all. I knew this going in. It's a rebadged TYM tractor, and now they sell TYM tractors around here as well as Mahindra. So I did lots of research. There's no American-made tractor under 100 horsepower. Probably higher than that now. They're all offshore, regardless of the color. And I wanted performance. And this happens to have, it came with Goodyear tires. It has a Borg-Warner hydrostatic transmission, a Garrett turbo. The engine's a day dung, but it actually has a good reputation. So, knock on wood, it's already, 11 years old? It's 2012, yeah. And zero troubles, knock on wood. And the snowplow is a 9.5-foot Fisher Extreme V that I built this quick attach plate for. So 2 hoses, and you pull 2 levers. I can not fall down and break my teeth here. Pull those 2 levers, and off she comes. And I have forks and a bucket and all kinds of stuff. I never have, but I should put IV antifreeze in the rear tires. It would be an expense, but traction-wise, I think it would be helpful, and ballast-wise. The backhoe does a good job counterweighting, lifting with the forks, and traction for snow plowing, but it's always out behind you. I'm used to it now, but if you forget just for a second, you're going to back into something. Well, the sun didn't quite stay out long enough to finish melting everything, at least get down to bare tar, but I made a lot of progress, so I'll have more traction tomorrow whenever it's supposed to snow. I haven't looked at the weather yet, but I'm hoping the report is wrong. That snow pile got even bigger. I had to clear off my Suburban and the Dodge because the diesel fuel was in the tan box. So clean them off enough to move them out of the way, back drag where they sit, and then clean them off and put them back. Snow piles are getting, I got a long ways to pile down there, so it's already almost February, so another month will be on. The melt will be on. So when it stacked up this high before Christmas, I've had that snow pile we're looking at right now out here as far as the trailer, and it's hard, it's deceiving looking at it, but that's at least 60 or 70 feet between the trailer and that snow pile. But yeah, winter. Haven't swatted a bug all day. Okay, let's see if we can actually accomplish something this afternoon that's not snow related. This is a piece of chrome moly, 1/8 of an inch thick. I took my template. I mentioned I was going to add a little bit on here. The width is correct. I'm really stingy when it comes to marking out stuff. I'm not going to put it in the middle, and you see that a lot actually. I'm going to use as little metal as possible. Now, I've never cut 1/8 inch chrome moly on my kit or notcher. This goes up and down. You'll see that in a minute. I'm going to start the rotary converter, 3-phase converter. It's going to be a little bit loud. I have a foot pedal controlling it. It goes up and down. These are guides. Sorry about the bright light of the window. And I was going to find a spacer to space me out straight this way, but this particular edge isn't that straight, so I'm going to have to eyeball this to start with, and then I'll remark it and do a little more nipping on it. So let's fire up the rotary converter and do some stuff. Fire up the kit or notcher. That's the function. She went. Scared me a little bit. That was probably a lot of stress on it, but she ate it no problem. Now I'm going to remark And the subsequent pieces will be much easier to nibble. So let me mark her out. I'll be right back. My apologies, as you just saw, I had trouble shutting off the camera, and it's probably going to do it again. My new iPhone X, new to me, it's refurbished. I bought it. My previous phone had 64 gigabytes of memory. That was awesome, of storage. This one's got 258, I think. It's huge in that respect, and I was really excited because we're videoing stuff. You need lots of capacity for storage. However, the battery life in this thing is a joke. In fact, I probably ought to send it back and get another one. It's probably going to leave me stranded because it does not have any staying power. So I let the battery charge while I worked on this bracket a little more, soon to be bracket. And all I did with the nibbler is I nibbled the corners after I marked them, and I took out the corners here. In preparation to fold this, you see scratches here. I actually tried to use a hole saw to pre-notch these before I bent them. But without the pilot and not a good way to hold it, without spending a lot of time setting up, I gave up on that because I had a better idea. So then I dragged out my metal brake. This is too heavy for your hand-powered sheet metal bender, but this will do it. Press brake. However, having never bent anything this narrow, I had now learned that the minimum width between the jaw there is 2.5 inches. So if I had made these 1 1/4 wide instead of 1 inch, trying to save weight, I would have been able to bend them like this. So not willing to waste this expensive piece of chrome moly, I'm going to go back to the kit of notcher, cut each side off, and then I'll weld them back on 90 degrees. It'll actually make it easier to cope it and fit the tubing. I can do it all on the bench. I can take the center piece, bolt it onto my transmission cross member, and tack it on, and then remove the whole mess and finish it on the bench. So that's what I'm going to have to do. So the best laid plans don't always work out. I also drilled my holes. I was going to use, I have an oval punch sitting in the yellow punch that I typically use for transmission cross members because I like to have a little come and go. Well, in this case, everything is fixed in precision. The motor's not going anywhere. The transmission cross member is machine fit, or is going to be, so it doesn't do any good to have any extra big hole. So I drilled them to size. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fire up the notcher and cut it off, and I'm gonna have to go charge my phone, and then go chase the school bus. So I guess we didn't get much done in this video other than talking about snow plowing, but sometimes that's the way it is. That storm yesterday pretty much wiped out 2 full days of productivity. And Friday and Saturday were the same way. But that's the price you pay. Doesn't matter where you live. There's some kind, Mother Nature is everywhere, so there's some kind of aggravation, weather-related, at some point. So, again, no bugs, it's okay. So, have a great night, and we'll continue on this mess soon enough, probably tomorrow. See? It's telling me there's low power, so it won't allow me to use my remote. So, let me walk around and shut her off. Goodbye again. I'll keep talking to you because I know you can hear me.